What's up, gang? Welcome to Room and Board. My name is Chris George, and today we are taking a look at a review of Chili Mafia, or as I like to call it, Pablo the Pepper's Family Reunion.
What are you talking about there, wise guy?
Oh yeah, hey Pablo. Hey, we were just talking about you. Talking about Chili Mafia today.
What'd you say about my family?
I didn't say anything about your family. The video literally just started.
All right, because if you say anything negative about them at all, you're getting whacked.
Okay, yeah, this is going to make it a little tricky to review because I like to do the positives and the negatives.
You know what? That's not a death threat. I don't make threats. That there is a death promise.
That's noted. I am terrified to begin. So let me buy some time with this intro screen. Now, the gameplay of Chili Mafia is fairly simple. You start with a hand of 6 cards. You actually draft them, so you're guaranteed to have something to start with. And on your turn, you can play as many or as few cards as you would like, drawing 2 cards at the end of your turn with a maximum card limit of 8. Now, the goal of the game is to have the biggest and baddest chili gangs of them all in front of you when all the cards run out. The toughest chili pepper gang in all of... Pablo, where are you from? I mean, I assume Spain, but...
It's never been established.
Fair enough. Leaves the door open to further character development that way.
Hey, keep it going, wise guy. We don't have all day.
Now, to form a chili gang, you take 3 or more cards from your hand and lay them down in front of you. It can be a mixed gang if they're all different, or a brotherhood gang if they're all the same.
Hey, you know what? We're from that planet that the Boba Fett was from.
Tatooine?
No, the other one with the clones.
Oh, Camino.
Yeah, whatever, you friggin' nerd.
You're the one who brought up the reference. Anyway, whatever chilies are left standing at the end of the game, in a complete gang, at least 3 cards, you score points for. But those in a brotherhood gang,
Camino.
in a Camino gang,
Yeah.
are worth double. It's called brotherhood in the rules.
Don't care.
Okay. Are worth double because they're harder to get, obviously. You also have these hot cards which allow you to participate in Pablo's favorite hobby, whacking people. And if you play one of these cards, you use a chili member from your gang to whack an opposing gang's chili member of the same value or lower. Obviously, you can't go higher because you know way too much about gang structure to even think about shooting beyond your weight class. What value are you again, Pablo?
Yeah, I'm a 7. Right where you want to be.
There you go. But don't worry, you also have these action cards that you can play on your turn which do various stuff, like drawing extra cards, stealing cards from someone else's hand, taking a gang member from an opposing gang and putting it back in the deck, getting cards from the discard so that you can use them again. But the most important card is this card, the carton of milk, Fuggedaboudit, I think, which allows you to block someone from whacking a member of your gang, or just canceling their card entirely.
Wait a minute, wise guy. What are you saying?
What was that?
It's forget about it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, that's not what you said. You said forget about it.
Forget about it.
No, it's back of your throat.
Forget about it.
No, you're going in the opposite direction. It's not, you're not even listening. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Forget about it.
You're not. It's forget about it.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Fuggedaboudit.
Just forget about it.
That's how we say it in Canada. Anyway, if you can't play a card on your turn, or you don't want to, you have to pass, and then you have a small penalty, discarding a card either from your hand or a chili from one of your gangs. And this is just to make sure that the game continues to move along.
Yeah, I guess it's what they say. Fortune favors the chili.
I guess that's the expression, all right.
It's a pun. Fortune favors the bold pun.
That's not a pun. Oh, Pablo, not you too. It's Kala Kilforth all over again. Anyway. That's how you play. And even if Pablo wasn't standing here watching me with his beady little eyes, I would tell you that it is a fun time. I mean, the best part of the game, hands down, is the Forget About It card. It really encourages you to just put on mafioso voices and just shout at your friends around the table about how you're gonna whack them. I mean, most of the games that I have played have been heavily reliant on these mafioso voices. I mean, arguably, if you don't use the mafioso voices, the game will be 100% less fun.
What are you saying?
I'm kidding, Pablo. Okay. It's a fun experience. It encourages that sort of fun. From a strategic point of view, the set collection is actually interesting. The set collection is satisfying. You want to hold onto your cards so that you can play them in a big Brotherhood gang. And because you don't want your really important gang members and high-scoring gang members to be whacked, so you want to save them for later, but the amount of action cards that exist in the game make it so that you do have a little bit of a pull of, do I keep it in my hand and hope nobody steals it from me, or do I play it and hope nobody whacks them? But it is that balancing act, because you don't want to telegraph what's in your hand or what isn't. So you'll play cards slowly, or you'll play them wildly, because you have to commit to a new gang, and all of your other gangs have the same members, so you need to create a new one. Or else you'd be forced to discard cards in your hand, which, what's the point of keeping them if they're just going to be discarded anyway? As they say, a chili on the board is better than 2 on the bush. But I really like this addition of the, if you don't play something, you have to discard it, because it really keeps the game moving along, and it stops you from just hoarding all of your chilies and then having a big old gang raid at the end. It means that there's always something to do. Now, let me be clear, this is not the most strategic game in the world. But there are ways to be strategic in it, which I think is an important distinction, and which for me makes it replayable. My friends who really love this sort of style of game, this lightweight, easy card just to create laughter around the table, they ask for it consistently almost every time they're over to start off the game night. I mean, we might as well have a quick game of Chili Mafia to start things off, huh? I am always happy to oblige them with that request, even if I wouldn't personally be requesting it every time. But you know, there is one major flaw to this game.
Hey, you better not be disrespecting my family.
I'm not. You see, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
It feels like a quote from
One day the kids in the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect.
Wait a minute. No, you can't possibly mean
And the main problem here, Pablo, is that you're obsolete. Because, you know, I've recently met a few of your friends. An expansion to this crew. They're good fellas. They make me feel alive. And you know what, wise guy? I got news for you. There's a new number 7 in town. Madam Jeanette, what have you got to say?
Oh, Madam Jeanette's on
And you know what, Pablo? Maybe it's time you meet some of my new family. Huh? Where's the Hungarian, huh?
I'm here.
Get whacked. The Padrone's in town. Maruga Scorpion? Pfft, you can't handle the spice of my man, the Naga Viper.
You speak
and Carolina Reaper. I got news for you. You're no longer the head of this family. That's for Pepper X.
Wise guy, you told me this would be a family reunion.
Yeah, I did. But I didn't say which family.
You stabbed me in the back.
It's because the Goodfellas expansion is the optimal way to play this game. And it's just because it adds in more cards with unique abilities versus the original copies. You've seen Pablo. He's not special. I mean, I'm saying that now just because I'm surrounded by all of these even deadlier criminals. Pablo, don't worry, you will always be special to me. But in the base game, you have some chilies that have special abilities, like Poblano, who's the defender. He can always take the hit if someone's trying to whack someone of a higher rank. He'll fall upon that sword. You've got the Ghost Pepper, who can snipe anyone in a way that even Poblano can't stop the assassination from taking place. Or you have my personal favorite, Jimmy Nardello, the sidekick. He's only worth 2, but you can add his strength to anyone making a whack action. So that's how lowly peppers can take out the big boss with Jimmy Nardello's help. And when you see a gang of Jimmy Nardellos heading your way, oof, you better run. Plus, he's probably the most fun to say, probably because he has a real full name, Jimmy Nardello. Hey, you got any Jimmy Nardellos up in here? And so with the Goodfellas expansion, the other numbers get some of these exciting powers, like being able to draw more cards, swapping with an opponent. And in this sort of game, you want those powers. I really think that this expansion is completely necessary and also completely unnecessary. I mean, you could, and I'm not saying that you should, but you could just add the specific number of symbols on the specific number of cards, because not every one of the cards of that number has the ability, which I also think is a nice little twist. But you could add these symbols and abilities to your original cards and the game would play exactly the same. I mean, as fun as the art is, and it's fun to have more of it, sometimes you may not feel like throwing your old fremesis aside. But sometimes you want to say, hey, I made a mistake. Pablo, I want you back. You can have Madame Jeanette's territory. You can have her power. I just need you to come back and deal with these good fellas. They're good fellas, but I miss my original good fella.
Yeah, nobody puts Pablo in a corner.
Oh my.
Take that. Yeah, eat it.
Oh my God.
Blam, blam. Pow. Pow. Pablo power.
That was incredibly violent.
Yeah, nobody disrespects my family. You got that, wise guy?
I've got it. I've got it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all got
nobody
it by
mess
now.
with Pablo.
Anyway, you can get the base game for $30 on their website, and you'll have to decide for yourself if that's too much for what this game is, which is a light, fun game that doesn't take itself too seriously. But realistically, they're a smaller company. They can't produce it at the scale needed to make it at that sort of lower price point. And so I get it. This is also why I think the extra $15 for the Goodfellas expansion is a little much for something that shouldn't necessarily need to exist, because the original Peppers could have had those powers to begin with. But that being said, I think it is a fun time. I said this in my initial coverage back when it was on Kickstarter, and I'm saying it again, this little scale that they have on the side of the box really tells you all you need to know. More family weight, more luck than strategy, and definitely towards the energetic side of things. The box is also fantastic. It's this little friggin' chili suitcase. It's got a magnetized lid, which is always great. You got your little Chili Mafia passport for the rules. It's great. And I'm really happy that they did send me this copy to review, because it's not necessarily something that I would have picked up for myself. But now, having played it and seeing the enjoyment that especially that one group of friends gets from it, it's something that I'm super happy to own. And I will say that it is one of the best games of this style and type that I have played. Now, I'm obviously not a connoisseur of these sorts of take-that-quick games. And of course, I might be biased because there's never been a point in this video where I haven't been being held at gunpoint by some chili somewhere on or off the screen. And also, I'm obviously very attached to Pablo ever since he first debuted on this channel, and I am thrilled that Lemery Games liked Pablo enough and that they were kind enough to send me this copy for review. But I will say that with Chili Mafia in my collection, and I may end up giving this to my one friend who really loves it and whose household consistently plays these types of games. They have a larger household, they have a lot of roommates, so it works because it's a nice group game. With this in my collection, or me having access to it, I don't ever envision myself needing to get any other game of this style, because I like it. It's a fun time. It's definitely not necessary, but it should give you exactly the experience that it promises to give you. Anyway, to finish off, the bottom line is this. Chili Mafia is a great addition to the funny card game take that genre and sets the standard for this type of game. The best way to play it is to not take yourself too seriously and definitely add in as many Mafia voices as you can handle while you're playing it. But it's solid, it's fun, and for me it gets the room and board seal of approval.
Seal of approval? Nah, this gets Pablo's Pickles best game of the
There you
year.
go.
Only the best game of the year. I give it Madame Jeanette's spiciest treat
This
of the
is gonna
week.
go.
Approved by the Naga Viper. It gets the coveted Gentleman's Choice
Pepper
Award.
X, Game of the Year. I'd throw my body in front of anyone who tries to hurt this
I
game.
may not be a pepper, but I want to get in on the action too. Oh, sweet chili sauce, by the scum, and burn any other ones. This is the only game ever. Whoopsie.
Hey, I'm Jimmy Nadella, and I approve this message.
What more can I say? There you have it. I am not used to having so many people on screen, but sometimes it's nice to be around family. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you found this review helpful and somewhat entertaining. And if you didn't, well, you'd be disrespecting my family. My new family. Sorry, Mom and Dad, I am not allowed to see you anymore. My new family will not allow it. Anyway, my name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but in the words of Al Capone,
Make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pablo's Pickles.
I really thought you were going to say some cool slogan there. This isn't the time for cross-promotion.
Sorry, wise guy. It's nothing personal. It's just business.
There we go. That was it. I'll see you in the next one.